It's one bike lane in a large network across the capital city that makes up a nearly decade-old project.
Going back to 2016, when the original priority network was approved for 25 kilometers, that really just included cycling improvements.
The price tag back then was estimated to be $37 million. But now, with the city starting work on the final leg of the project, we're learning the total cost has nearly doubled. The original plan in 2016 was for 25 kilometers of bike lanes. But over time, the network grew, and the city increased it to 33 kilometers crisscrossing the city. Some of the bike lanes were well over $10 million, like the route through Fernwood, which came in at nearly $11 million. Wharf and Humboldt cost $4.6 million, and work on Gorge Road that started just this week is estimated to cost more than $13 million. Add it all up, and the grand total for Victoria's contentious bike lane network, assuming the latest leg is on budget, is just over $65 million. When asked to justify the increase, Victoria's Director of Transportation says the city is getting a lot more than just protected bike lanes.
New crosswalks, upgrades to our traffic signals and road paving, which was never included in the original project scope.
Also driving up the cost, inflation. The city also points out that $28 million in funding came from the federal government and grants.
I think taxpayers have to ask a lot of questions.
The Grumpy Taxpayers, a local group that advocates for lower taxes, says even with federal funding, that money still comes from the taxpayer.
The taxpayer seems to have an endless number of pockets.
The group believes the funding could be better spent on public safety and addressing affordability.
There shouldn't be another meter of bike lanes paved until there's a very careful review and analysis of what they've built.
How much did the Keating overpass cost? As far as we know, it's going to cost the taxpayers at least $79 million for one overpass for cars.
Bike advocates have defended the project since day one and say even at $65 million, it's still money well spent.
For 65, we got a contiguous network, we got increased uses by bicyclists for purposes of mode share, taking away cars from downtown Victoria.
Between 2017 and 2022, we've seen a 44% growth in the number of people cycling within the city of Victoria.
And it's that stat the city believes helps justify the cost. As for when the project will be finished, there are some minor routes that need extended, but the city expects Gorge Road, the last main leg, to be done next year.